You've seen them, right? Those super cheap offers, especially on places like Warrior Plus. And your first thought is probably, what's the catch? Is this thing for real, or is it just the start of some crazy expensive sales funnel? Well, in this explainer, we're going to find out.
Yeah, that really is the million-dollar question. Or, in this case, the $1 question. You see these deals everywhere, promising the keys to the kingdom for just $1. And you can't help but think, this feels a little too good to be true. And you know what? A lot of the time, that gut feeling is absolutely right.
So let's get right to it. Today, we're putting this specific product, Profit Partnership, right under the microscope. We're going to tear it down, see what it's really about, what they're promising, and most importantly, what you actually get. That way, by the end of this, you'll know for sure if it's worth your time or just another shiny object.
Okay, first things first. Before we can call anything a scam, we've got to be on the same page about what that word even means. So let's set a simple, clear standard for this review.
It's pretty simple, really. A scam is just a broken promise. It's when someone sells you something guaranteeing you'll get rich overnight, or you'll have instant success with zero effort, when they know full well it can't deliver on that promise. That's the bar we're going to use.
So right away, Profit Partnership does something interesting. It seems to dodge that big, flashing red flag. If you look at how they talk about it, they call it a blueprint, a guide, they talk about a mindset shift. They're pretty upfront that this is about learning something, not just pushing a magic money button.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at this. This is straight from their own earnings disclaimer. They flat out say that any big results they mention are not typical and that your results will vary. They make no guarantees of any kind. Now, based on the definition we just set, it's the exact opposite of a scam. They're telling you right to your face not to expect miracles.
All right, so if it's not making bogus promises, what's in the plus column? Let's look at the actual evidence that points to this being a legit offer. There are a few things that really jump out.
Okay, for starters, the whole thing is built on a real, solid business concept. Partnership marketing, that's a legit strategy people use all the time to grow, using other people's audiences instead of trying to build one from zero. Next up, the price is crystal clear. It's $1. $1 gets you the main thing. Sure, there are probably some optional upgrades, but the core product is yours for that $1. And a huge one. You're not getting trapped in some sneaky monthly fee. It's a one-and-done deal.
And I think this quote from them really nails it. It's not about some secret hack. It's about a total shift in how you think about business. Going from trying to do it all on your own, the lone wolf thing, to becoming a pack leader and working with others. And that, right there, is a real business strategy.
Yep, we keep coming back to this, but it's important. The risk here, the barrier to entry to learn this stuff, it's practically zero. For just $1, you get your hands on their entire system for this strategy. Okay, so if it's not a scam, then why do people sometimes get, mad about these offers? It pretty much always boils down to one thing: what you thought you were getting versus what you actually got. This is super important. Look, it's easy to see a $1 offer and think, awesome, this must be some magic software that's going to do everything for me and make money instantly, right? But the reality is, that's not what this is. What you're actually getting is a learning tool. It's a guide, a pretty beefy one at over 80 pages, that you have to actually sit down, read, and then put into action yourself. It's a plan, not a push-button solution. So knowing that, let's be super honest about who should probably just save their dollar and skip this entirely, because it's definitely not for everyone, and it's better to know that now. All right, real talk. If you absolutely hate seeing any kind of upsell, even if it's optional, just walk away. If you're looking for software that does the work for you and not a book you have to read, this ain't it. And look, here's the biggest one. If you're just going to buy it and let it sit on your hard drive without ever taking action, well, then you're just throwing $1 away. It's as simple as that. So here's the bottom line. This is not a passive thing. It's a blueprint that demands action. Think of it like a roadmap. It shows you exactly how to get there. But you still have to get in the car and drive. If you're waiting for a self-driving Tesla, this isn't it. All right, let's wrap this up. Time for the final verdict. We've looked at everything: what they promise, what they don't, what you get. So, is Profit Partnership a scam or is it legit? So, no. Based on our definition, Profit Partnership is not a scam. It just isn't. Why? Because it's super careful not to promise you the moon. It tells you you're getting a guide on a specific strategy, and that's exactly what it delivers. But, and this is a huge but, it is absolutely not a shortcut to getting rich. Let's be crystal clear about that. This isn't a lottery ticket, it's not some magic system. It's a textbook, a manual, and it's worthless without you doing the work.
What it is, when you boil it all down, is a really cheap way to learn about one specific strategy: partnership marketing. That's the deal on the table. You're trading $1 for a whole lot of information and a plan to follow.
And that brings us to the real question, the one only you can answer. Is learning that specific strategy worth $1 to you? I mean, for less than a cheap cup of coffee, you get a full-on blueprint for a business model. Is that a trade you're willing to make right now?
So, look, if the idea of building partnerships to grow your business sounds interesting and you want to dive in, the link's down below. If it's not your cup of tea, no problem at all. There are a million other ways to get where you're going. Thanks for hanging out with me and digging into this.